Yes, you are still tuning to the best youth show in the motherland, man. Of course, it is EKSE live right here on channel 263. And World Yoga Day comes usually on the 22nd of February each year. The practice involves the physical poses, deep breathing, concentration through the host of the physical, mental, spiritual, as well as emotional stages. So today we are discussing the benefits of physiotherapy as well as, you know, yoga that comes along to play in this world as well. So here we obviously not are chatting alone about this. We do have yoga instructor Storm Joy as well as yoga guru Shereleen in the building to chat to us a bit about that. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So to just dive straight into it, because we've seen so many articles talking about how physiotherapy and yoga one of importance when it comes to actually working out the body. So how do those two have relations, or how do they complement each other?
Thanks for the question, and thank you for having me as well. I'm so honored to be in this space. So from my little background, I've only been teaching yoga for about 2.5, almost 3 years now.
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of my clients do get referred to my classes by physiotherapists, by doctors, but mainly physiotherapists. And I would say that the link comes from yoga. Yes, it's a physical practice, but it's not, that's just one very small portion of it, right?
Okay.
And physios heal the body through movement, through working with the respiratory system and like the entire body basically of the human being. And I think that yoga can aid in that healing process, because yoga invites one to be confrontational with whatever you are experiencing in your body, and it helps you to witness, to take a moment to witness what you are feeling and where you are feeling it in your body. So I feel like with physio, you have somebody guiding you, and I love the work that they do. And I think yoga is such a great addition, because it then invites you to have that moment with yourself to kind of further what they have guided you toward, and maybe even expand that on, like you mentioned, Kizzy, a spiritual level, an emotional level, and a more holistic experience.
What about you, Shiri?
Yes, I definitely will agree with the fact a couple of years ago I had an injury and I had to stop yoga, and I couldn't understand where my imbalance in life came, because I was eating healthy but I couldn't do. And as I eased into it, I also realized, like you just mentioned, Storm just mentioned, you take time out to realize that you have to appreciate this body, because that injury made you aware. And then, as you know, with the ankle, you lean on the one side. So that also brings you to the conversation of, where am I leaning on too much, whether it's mentally, whether it's physically, where is the balance that you find? And like you said, in a whole holistic way, it comes together easily, because it also strengthens the bones, and from that we definitely can see the benefits of orthopedic healing in that regard.
And just listening to what the two of you are saying, is speaking about the spiritual, you know, the mind, the body and everything. It sounds like yoga has become an umbrella under physiotherapy, right? So how important would you say it is to know your body and what it aligns with, and what you can take in terms of knowing where you're at, and knowing if you require physiotherapy at some stage?
That is a very good question, because I think about, say for instance, you are injured as a sports person, you have to slow down. So I think we tend to think, okay, once you're done, you got the operation, you got this, you healed. If you think about our sports rugby players, they just think about going back onto the treadmill, you know, but it's a slow, especially a ligament. A ligament is something so small in the body, but it takes so long to heal. And if you don't respect that time to heal, then you won't actually heal. A couple of months down the line, you will sit with the same problem, or even a year later. So definitely in that regard.
So with you saying that, because you'd find when it comes to actually working out the body, especially if people are into fitness and stuff, they tend to say that you have to break your body so that it builds itself up. So you do get to highlight the fact that you don't break it literally and not care about it. Yes.
Yeah, so that is the thing about yoga. It slows you down, because now you listen to your body. You can feel this movement is not, it's too tight. Oh, this doesn't work for my ligament. Maybe it doesn't work for my hip. You know, so all those stuff, it slows you down. So then once you get back into your actual physiotherapy, once you in your healing, there's so much space for you to be calm and patient with yourself instead of just hitting it back.
So now yoga, oh, sounds like yes. It's like you are speaking the truth right there. So yoga focuses on the body, the mind, the soul, the spiritual, the emotional. How would you say that yoga contributes to the mental well-being of someone's mind and state?
In so many ways. And I have to echo what this wonderful woman said, like yoga teaches you to be gentle with your body, and it teaches you to honor your body. And oftentimes we think that the more we exert ourselves, the more reward we get, right? So
True.
I
I
remember
always feel like that.
when I started practicing, I was doing back bends, like in all these different exotic shapes and angles, and it was amazing. But then I was like, okay, I'm actually hurting myself. So it's also having that, or not having, I want to say having the conversation with your body, but your body is actually always having a conversation with you. So it's actually about listening and being like, okay, this is pain, this is discomfort. I can move through this, and these are my boundaries. So with the mental rewards that yoga gives us, your resilience, patience, stillness, presence, I think that we forget because of load shedding and all these things. Our minds are constantly wondering what we need to cook before we get home, or last week's meeting.
I'm thinking about supper now.
Exactly. And I mean, my mom rushed to make a cup of coffee, and I was like, yo, why are we like this?
But the mind is always overthinking, and it's very important to be
this
still.
Body
And
is always present. This body can't be preparing meals before load shedding. This body is always here. So bringing the mind into alignment with the body is also one of the great benefits of yoga, because it immediately reminds us that there's nothing to do right now but be here.
Be present.
Yeah.
And there's nothing like the present time right now. So I think right now is the perfect time, you know, to have our first yoga session, of course, with Storm System. Please do make your way over to Luandile in the music block. And of course, we still have Shereleen over here. And I do have a question for you. What would you say are the benefits of physiotherapy?
Physiotherapy as in yoga, or physiotherapy as in on its own?
Both.
Both. I think the one should go with the other. I think with any physiotherapy, it's a process. It's whether you have been in an accident or coming back, whether it's tearing a ligament or breaking a finger. I think yoga should be, like you said earlier, it's the umbrella under all these things. So first of all, before we heal, definitely mental health.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it's always great having you on the show, because you're one of those people who have so much so much information and so much impact, especially when it comes to the world of actually how to communicate with your body and actually listening to it, because that's one of the reasons for us to actually listen to our body. But I think it's time for us to actually listen to what Luandile has to say on the block, because uzawushaya ngama yoga sessions. What do you have, Golokala sister?